Welcome back. Welcome back, indeed. And it's not just for F1, it's not just for the fans, but it's for our glorious co-host. HX is back. Welcome back, my friend.
Yeah! Podcast. Hi.
Hi, hello. Hell yeah, we're gonna be back together for the podcast. It's been a month, and we're very excited to be back together, right?
Yeah, really excited. It's always an honor to be here. So I'm looking forward to talking all about F1 once again.
Yes, and we've had some interesting talking points from this weekend. Obviously, Monaco is very specific. Qualifying is the key here, but as we saw, many things can happen in the race, and the pole sitter could have very easily lost this race, but they didn't. And good job for the pole sitter who managed to get the win in Monaco as they usually do. But yeah, this one was a little bit chaotic in the end. So,
Yeah, it was probably the most chaotic Grand Prix of the year, which doesn't usually happen in Monaco, does it?
I don't know whether I would say chaotic. I mean, the last 20 laps were like chaotic.
I don't.
But the first 15
Yeah,
laps
there was.
were literally just sleep. Nothing was happening for the first 50 laps.
I don't know if you think about all the the pit lane shenanigans.
I mean, yeah,
That could
there
be.
were
I will say.
investigations, right? But
I'll say it wasn't exciting, but it was chaotic. Does that make sense?
yeah, that's the better wording. Wouldn't call it exciting either.
No.
I mean, it was nice to see something happen in Monaco, but to have it happen that way with essentially was a glitch or whatever in the pit limiter, like it happened to like five different teams, five different drivers by 0.1 kilometers per hour. I don't think that's a coincidence, right? Not really sure
Yeah,
if they
no, I
put out the
agree.
statement
It's
yet.
kind of nuts.
Uh,
No,
uh,
they have not.
it screwed over many drivers who had good weekends, like Pierre Gasly, who obviously finished P3 on the road, bumped down to P7, I think. Very unfortunate for him. Was having a blast of a weekend, and definitely there's a mention in the category later on, right?
Yeah, and also George Russell. That was kind of nuts.
Yeah. George was double unlucky because he went to service penalty, but his team screwed it up. And essentially, didn't even service penalty and got a drive through. So just like you got the
The
penalty
worst
by standing
yeah.
on like it was like a double portion of it. Essentially like a triple because drive through is like 10, 15 seconds, right, in Monaco.
Yeah,
It was a lot of time, especially at the safety car restart where everyone's bunched up. Like if it was during the race, could have finished in the points. But George was very unlucky in this race, but also wasn't in a good position to begin with anyway, compared to his teammates. But definitely more points that was lost to bad luck for him in championship. Now it's like 68 points. It's such a huge gap now.
yeah.
It sounds
Mad.
ridiculous after 6 races. That's such a huge
He's
gap.
he's not even second, right?
Yeah, he's third behind Lewis Hamilton of all
Yeah.
drivers. That sounds crazy to say. Lewis Hamilton in a Ferrari, second in the championship, six races in.
How the hell?
It's like the most random thing about the season so far. Yeah. Okay. I guess we can go through the predictions. So in qualifying, we've had qualifying was the main thing about this weekend because essentially you don't gain many positions in Monaco unless it's chaos 20 laps into the end. But they didn't expect that to happen, so they tried to qualify the best they could, and some did it, some didn't. We ended up having Kimi Antonelli on pole position in Monaco.
Yeah, just very unexpected.
Yeah.
I think, we say that as if he hasn't won all the last few races. But yeah, I just thought that I especially thought that the Ferraris would be really quick this weekend because obviously Monaco's a bit less about engine power and so on and so forth. But Mercedes have shown they've made a ridiculous car, and Antonelli shows that he is title. He's in this to win the title.
Yep. He was a very convincing pole position. Kind of came out of nowhere. We were all expecting pretty much Max to be in pole position at that point, but it just yeah, Antonelli was still in sector 2 and just came in, and I don't think he set a purple sector. It was 3 greens and still got pole position. Just a very
Yeah,
tidy lap.
I love that when that happens.
Yeah, and his teammate in P6, like 4 seconds
Yeah,
behind.
really far down. Yeah,
Uh,
exactly.
Monaco, a track that's purely based on confidence in the car. We could see that difference being here, a tremendous difference in Monaco, considering the lap time, right? It's 110, 112. It was this year because the cars got slower, but last year Lando go like 119 something in his record-breaking pole position. So yeah, it's a very short lap and 4 tenths on a teammate, especially in Monaco, the
It's
most important
big.
qualifying of the year. Really weak for George, and it's looking increasingly unlikely they could like come back in this title. I never say never, right? I thought they could get 3 engine failures in a row, but
Yeah,
for that to
I
happen,
was
it's unlikely.
I was going to talk about this later, but I might as well bring it up now. I keep thinking, Antonelli's going to fall off. Based on last year, he had a huge fall off when it got to Europe, so on and so forth. And he's young and inexperienced. And George Russell has looked like last year he was our top-rated driver, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Alongside Max Verstappen. And yeah, I just keep thinking that Russell somehow get back into this. But this is probably the first weekend where I'm like, maybe this is it. Maybe we have found our new world champion already.
Yeah. It's it's a scary gap. 6 races in, like the
Yeah,
next driver doesn't even have triple digits, and he's on 156 points, already beating his 2025 tally, Antonelli. It's absolutely crazy what a start of the season he's had. He's already at 5 wins in a row, which has equaled Lewis Hamilton's personal best in his career.
yeah,
And that's pretty good considering Lewis Hamilton has over 100 race victories. Yeah, Antonelli, what a start to the season. It remains a question whether he can actually replicate it in the European part because, like you said, last year it was a big problem. He had some bad luck, but also he was his weakest part of the year in terms of performance as well. Like in Spain, for example, that's the next race, by the way. Last year he was like half a second behind Jordan qualifying, and in the end finished like P7 before the engine failure, and George was obviously fighting for the podium. So there was like a
yeah.
gap in those European races. So it's going to be interesting to see the difference to this year in whether Anthony can still remain ahead of Russell in terms of pace. Well,
Yeah, definitely. And he wasn't poor in Monaco last year, but the Mercedes was.
I mean, he crashed in
So,
in Q1, I think that was, or Q2.
oh yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
so
So yeah, he's already showing a lot of maturity. It's exciting to
yeah,
see.
the difference to last year is tremendous. Like last year, he crashed in qualifying, and this year he's got a first Grand Slam of his career in Monaco of all places, and the youngest driver to ever do so as well. Uh, he's already breaking
Yeah,
records.
exactly.
The second season in F1, and we could see him being a force in F1 for the foreseeable future. Like this was not expected coming to this season, especially after Australia, where Russell looked dominant. Uh, this is such a big turnaround. Antonelli is legitimately looking like the title favorite, uh, and it's going to be very difficult for anyone to be anywhere close to him come to the end of the season.
Yeah, I completely agree.
Yeah.
It's nuts.
Yeah, behind Antonelli in qualifying, Maximilian Verstappen.
Yeah,
Making a
good
point.
call from you.
Yeah,
after Canada.
Yeah, I was feeling it. I was feeling it for Max around Monaco for some reason. I feel like he could put up such an amazing lap, and he did. He did probably extract the most of the car, but wasn't enough for the Mercedes of Antonelli. But yeah, Max showed tremendous speed in qualifying and definitely deserves the front row and would deserve a podium if it wasn't for that what happened at the start. But yeah, we'll get to that later. P3 Lewis Hamilton, another point.
Yeah. Oh wow. Jeez.
Out qualifying
Oh,
Charles
the comeback's
Leclerc,
gonna be.
right?
Yeah, I think Hamilton's had a little resurgence as well. You'd say, right?
Yeah.
He's looked mightily impressive as of late, and you know he's talked a lot about why he's feeling this sort of resurgence about not using the sim, this, that, and
Yeah.
the other.
And yeah, the
Um,
dating a questionable public figure.
Dating
Uh,
questionable public figures, yeah, true that. I think we're really seeing Hamilton pushing back, not to his best. I will say that, but back to where you'd expect him to be, right? And there was a little bit of confidence with me that he could win this race, especially considering what happened in the later laps, which I haven't felt in a long time.
yes, Lewis has showed some resurgence, like I said, and it's gonna be interesting to see if we can keep that up for the rest of the season. Like Charles Leclerc is always like he always had these moments that he's not at that Max Verstappen level yet. Like he does these mistakes and so on. I'm not saying that that crash was a mistake, because we'll probably never know that. He blamed it on the brakes, which was well supported by many. Uh,
Hmm.
but like we don't see these things from other drivers. Like Charles is prone to like try to push 101% and more whenever, especially it's Monaco, right? And
Yeah, yeah, for
yeah,
sure.
in qualifying we saw it as well. Like he was really trying for to get to that pole position, but ended up being too quick. Um, After the fast left-hander, I forgot the name. Yeah, he crashed in qualifying and then ending his run, and then in the race didn't do much in the end. Went to the wall. Yeah. Okay. Rest of qualifying order: P4 was Charles Leclerc, and P5 was Isaac Hajar. A top five for Red Bull. His first since I believe Australia. So a good performance from Isaac, and that's 2-0 after the qualifying predictions. There are any like notable thoughts from the qualifying that we haven't mentioned?
Uh, I was in Heathrow, so I only watched the highlights.
Okay.
Uh,
Understood. Sorry.
so no, it's all right.
I wanted to mention Bortoleto obviously crashed in qualifying. Him not
Yes.
having a pit lane start, and his teammate was looking like he could find McLaren's, but ended up being P13. I don't know what happened exactly there, but it wasn't a nice look after the Audi looked like legitimately the fifth quickest car up until that point, and he finished P13. Yeah,
He's cursed.
unfortunate. Gasly went out of nowhere to get to that Q3 as well. He was looking slower than Colapinto for qualifying up until the last Q2 run. In Q3, got to P9, I believe, ahead of Lawson. So, yeah, Gasly, very good weekend from him. Important to mention, right?
Yeah, yeah, definitely. We'll get on to it, but I thought this was a really, really solid weekend from Gasly. I think he showed, we didn't get to see Gasly last year, right?
Yeah.
and we saw him beat his teammate each week. But apart from that, we didn't really get to see much else. So it was great to see Gazzy sort of go for it.
Yeah. Okay.
And it was, yeah, we'll get to how unfortunate he was.
Yeah,
But,
I guess we can move over to the race. Where we had obviously Kimi Antonelli getting his first Grand Slam of his career, first of many, I think at this point it's safe to say. P2 we have Lewis Hamilton, so you get a point.
yes, get in there, Lewis.
And the controversial P3, which could have been any of three drivers come the end of the
Yeah,
race, ended up being Isaac Hajar, who was investigated as well for safety car infringements, but ended up
and red flag infringements.
yeah, he was investigated for multiple incidents and ended up having 0 penalties, which was fortunate for him because he would have fallen before behind Piastri, who would have gotten the most random podium probably in his career. Yeah,
Yes,
ended up having Isaac Hajar's first Red Bull podium and his second of his career, so good for Isaac. He drove an okay race. Obviously, wasn't as quick as Max in qualifying, and we couldn't see Max in the race, so difficult to compare. Also, Isaac faced many technical issues in the race. His engine seemed to be having troubles, and he was looking very slow. Piastri was on his tail for a good chunk of that race, but couldn't overtake because it's Monaco.
yeah,
And yeah, he still managed to bring it home for a P4 finish. Red Bull's on the
yeah.
points.
What I'd like to say about him real quick is he has shown in the last few races, um, that he is a bit more on it, right? He is that second Red Bull driver that they needed. There was fifth place in Canada, I think he came, if I'm not incorrect. And then obviously this performance to get third. Granted, a few things lucky happened to him, and it is obviously terrible to overtake at this Grand Prix. But yeah, I was pleased for him because it does look like, and maybe they will tailor the car a bit more to Max, and we'll see that drop off we saw from other drivers. But it looks like he's battling the beast that is the second Red Bull seat.
Yeah. Isaac so far, I think it exceeded expectations a little bit compared to his predecessors. Obviously, it's a new car for both drivers. Now it's starting to get to that point where Red Bull are bringing upgrades to favor Max, but it's kind of the expected thing. But Hajar being relatively close to Max still after these upgrades, it's impressive, and hopefully he can keep it up. Because Red Bull will definitely need both drivers in this fight if they want to challenge McLaren for the P3, perhaps. Well, they have to see what McLaren brings for Spain. If correct me if I'm wrong, but I think the directive for the Mercedes engine is supposed to take place in Spain, right? This is the first race of that change.
You would know better than me, is what I will
Yeah,
say.
the compression ratio, the that thing, but
Yeah, yes,
also
yeah, I get it. But
like
isn't there also aren't and I can't believe I'm saying this. Didn't the FIA decide that Red Bull had the best engine and
yeah
therefore Mercedes and Ferrari could better their engines?
yeah that's the audio thing. Obviously, it doesn't
Yeah.
have anything to do with the compression ratio. That's said and done, and that
Yes.
will take place for Spain, I believe. But the audio essentially gives the engine manufacturers the ability to bring upgrades to the engine, and the, funnily enough, it was Red Bull the best engine. It was something that was also rumored in the past. I think I definitely read about that. That Red Bull might have the best combustion engine, but the entire power
Yeah.
unit being the best for Red Bull is definitely interesting because imagine how bad of a car that must be if that's the best engine. It's like,
Yeah, that is a big worry.
yeah. Mercedes and Ferrari got two upgrades, I believe, for the 2%, and then the Audi and Honda get like four, or they essentially get double of the Ferrari and Mercedes upgrades, and obviously Honda has, also gets some financial help because they're just so bad. They did it.
Yeah,
So it's gonna be interesting to see if that changes the pecking order in any way. Obviously Mercedes already very strong, McLaren as well. Them having an advantage in engine development over Red Bull. Not great, but Ferrari is also beneficiary. Sorry, uh, he's benefiting from this audio thing as well. Obviously, Audi is too far gone for any changes, any big changes, and obviously Aston. Aston is At Aston, they're happy when their car finishes, I would say, and they finished a P10 in Monaco, so I guess that's something. Yeah, it's something
yeah,
we haven't mentioned
that's
yet,
something to
right?
talk about. Yeah,
Aston Martin, especially specifically Fernando Alonso, P10 in an Aston Martin. It's
P10, but also it could have been someone else.
yeah, like it could have been Cadillac's first point in Formula One history, but they got a penalty as well. And Perez got a penalty for that. I think it was a false start, right?
Yeah,
Or safety car. But essentially, it wasn't the pit lane thing like everyone else. He had his own investigation and was deemed guilty and got the time penalty, which cost Cadillac his first points in Formula One. Kind of a sad story, but if it's anyone benefiting from that penalty, it has to be Fernando Alonso. Because oh my god, that Aston Martin, we didn't think that we would finish the points.
no, I didn't. I didn't.
At all.
I'm pretty sure I said that this would be, or the next race would be Fernando Alonso's last. So
Yeah, like that car could have finished the race at the start of the season, and now it's randomly got a point.
yeah,
just
nuts.
Fernando Alonso things. What else can you say? Such a random thing, but yeah. Either way, it was a very random P10 finisher. Yeah. Rest of the rest of the top five P4, Oscar Piastri and P5, Liam Lawson, who had a very quiet weekend. Obviously got into Q3 and in the race managed it well. Was in his own race because Gasly was fighting the McLaren of Lando Norris, but Lawson did everything correctly and in the end finished in P5 thanks to others penalties. So very good job for Liam. Behind him, David Lindblad, who I believe started at like P15. Very unseen progress in Monaco, but very good job from the entire team and entire strategy team essentially to get both drivers in such a position. Obviously helped by many top teams DNFing as well, but both of them would have gotten points anyway. So yeah, and yeah, the rest of the points finishers are I believe Ocon and Albon.
Yes.
So yeah, that rounds the top 10.
This is also nuts, right?
Yes. Alex in the Williams finishing, my blunder over weekend finishing at the points, definitely that didn't work out great for me. And Ocon, who's been beaten by Behrman for most of the season so far, has outqualified him and gotten points ahead of Oli.
Yeah.
So important to mention that. And the final driver, Nico Hulkenberg, who finished in the points, got a penalty because my dog. Oh my god! It was for that incident in the hairpin, right? Like Sainz got hit, but Hulkenberg literally like he could have turned more because it's physically unable. The F1 car is physically unable to turn more, and Sainz just he turned there because they didn't want to expect anyone to be that close to him and. it was such an unfortunate incident that I'm just I'm so sad for the penalty because I usually not biased, right? Like in terms of penalties, like I can call out even my favorite drivers, but this one
Yeah.
just felt so unfortunate that, I mean, he couldn't have done anything in that position to avoid that contact with Sainz, and so
No.
got a penalty, which cost him his first points of the season. And
And you could argue a certain driver has caused that.
yeah, obviously the entire pack was budged up thanks to a certain George Russell who was yet to serve a driver pro penalty and was, I guess, trying something.
Yeah.
Perhaps to cause a safety car, a virtual safety car, or whatever. He was changing for. He was hoping for some chaos at the back because he had nothing to lose at that point. He knew he was going to finish outside of the points, and I mean, he was dangerous. He was not like something I support entirely, but I understand why he did what he did.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, it didn't help. Did not help him in the end, so it doesn't matter. Who was very unfortunate from the entire thing as well was Carlos Sainz, who got hit twice, actually. He got hit by the Hulkenberg, and then his suspension broke. He couldn't turn properly, and then just Colapinto just dive bombed a broken car. Very smart. Spawn Sainz and yeah. I don't know if Colapinto got a penalty for that because Colapinto was already investigated at that point. I think he got a penalty for a different incident before that. Colapinto, that was not good. That was like 2024, 2025 Colapinto. After such a good run of races, to have such a bad weekend for him, not ideal.
Yeah, it was unfortunate, especially when his teammate really did bring it to the forefront this season.
Yeah. Other notable mentions. So we can cover Max now. The start of the race. Obviously, Max wanted to ideally get to the first place, but instead got to the last place because his car didn't start. He hasn't even exceeded 200 kilometers per hour before he retired eventually. Yeah. Very, very unfortunate for Max. It was kind of funny to see him just not even get from his grid almost, but
the fact that he was like, "Well, yeah, I'm just gonna go home."
Yeah,
because it's around the corner. That was great.
Yeah, like what he was supposed to do. His engineer GP told him, "Yeah, just bring it home, Max." Like 15 minutes later, in the press time, like, "Yeah, I'm going home." It's like 500 meters,
Yeah.
and then you can see him in the yak with someone. Typical Max, but yeah, it was kind of funny, but also unfortunate for him. Who knows what could have happened if he was able to start normally? But Anthony got a good start at the start of the race as well. His red flag restart was even better. So yeah, Anthony probably wouldn't have lost that position anyway.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, another DNF.
He did
Yes.
two good starts.
Yes, exactly. Like his second start was even better, Anthony.
Yeah. Definitely.
Okay, second DNF, not caused by a driver error, was Lando Norris, who is starting to get even more unlucky than Piastri, who couldn't even start the race up until Japan, right? Like those McLarens are extremely unreliable, and it was just unfortunate to see Lando, like after helping Oscar get ahead of Isaac, right? Lando just, his car just turned off, like, kaput, goodbye, have a nice day. Lando, who also lives in Monaco, probably did a very similar thing to Max. It's just, his car gave up. Very unfortunate. But it would be only like P8 after all, as McLaren wasn't particularly quick this weekend. Anyway, from the other DNFs, Bottas. Bottas, I think his brake caught on fire, right?
Yeah. Yeah, something along
Well,
those
that was in
lines.
practice, but yeah, he had brake issues as well in the race, and then obviously we had Stroll who brought out the first safety car. Yeah, I don't know if it was officially like declared whether it was his error or that tarmac being like broken around there, because like I remember here reading that Perez actually called out the penultimate turn,
Yeah, yeah, he did.
the
Yeah,
tarmac there, that it was basically shredded there. They needed to like fix it. But instead, they ended up like waiting for 40 more laps, sorry, like 20 more laps for it to like do anything, because the driver actually crashed. And I don't know whether it was Stroll's fault, or whether Charles got the tarmac as well, or was was unlucky with the brakes or whatever. Like, it's very difficult to judge these incidents objectively, because we don't
yeah.
know for 100% what exactly happened there. Um,
Yes, yeah, yeah. It was interesting that they went back racing without really fixing it. Um, but yeah, with the apparent glitch in the system for the uh, speeding in the pit lane, as well as for you know both Stroll. By the way, Stroll got a penalty anyway, which is nuts on this Grand Prix for corner going.
yeah, track
There's like
limits.
two places. There's like two places you can go off. How he done that?
I think he
And
just I think he just went straight like for the chicane after the tunnel, right? Because I don't know where else you could realistically get a time penalty with it being
yeah,
like actually profitable, because the other place is like after a pool section, right? But
yeah,
if you don't hit the corner there, you're actually losing time. So causing the corner there is not beneficial anyway. So yeah.
yeah, yeah, exactly. Um, and yeah, and him and Leclerc just not being able to finish because of that. That's unfortunate because it's no fault of their own, right?
Yeah. Um, the entire thing with the pit limiter, right? Like that. I
Yeah,
I don't believe that's a coincidence. I don't think these drivers did anything wrong. Like, Gasly said that he pressed the pit limiter both times, twice, for the 59.5 kilometers per hour.
yeah,
But
exactly.
ended up having 60.1 and 60.4. Both times he entered the
Yeah,
pit lane in the same way. Both times got a penalty. It was such a strange thing that it happened to so many drivers and so many different teams, that this is never a coincidence. I think it was some kind of a glitch. Um,
yeah, and it's affected so many drivers'
yeah,
races. This is the difficult thing about this Monaco Grand Prix to talk about. From my perspective, is that if you're the drivers, you're a bit peed off. I think a lot of them will be. We saw how happy Gasly was. You know, yeah, yeah, and it might affect the World Drivers' Championship as well when it gets down to it later on in the championship. But that doesn't take away from anyone. I especially like the fact that Hamilton was able to do all the stuff and be fine. That was quite funny to me.
yeah. There's this one thing. Hamilton got a penalty. Leclerc wasn't told about it, and then when the safety car came out, Hamilton went to service penalty, and Leclerc had to wait for it and service the
Yeah.
penalty as well, because it was a double stack. So
Yes.
Leclerc must have been pissed off like so much at that moment. And then even after that, he could have not pitted at that point. It probably
Yes.
would have meant that he would have gotten like P3, right? Uh, sorry, not P3, P2, because he would have been ahead of Hamilton, because Hamilton had a service penalty, and then Leclerc could come to the pits afterwards to change his tires. So what Ferrari essentially did there was just a big screw up to Leclerc, nothing else, because they could have done so many things differently. They decided to uh, remind Charles that he's in Monaco after all. He's won there once, and that's always karma for his entire career around
Yeah.
there. Yeah. Okay. Did we not mention anything else?
Uh, I'm trying to think. I think we've gone through pretty much everything.
Yeah, for Monaco Grand Prix, that was a lot of talking.
Yeah, yeah, that was no. As I said, chaotic. Maybe not
Yeah,
exciting, but chaotic.
indeed. Okay. We can get to the rest of the categories, so we can go through them and assign points. Driver of the weekend. So, hear me out. I have three names.
I
I have three
okay.
names. First one being Kimi Antonelli, a Grand Slam.
Yes.
Nothing. There's actually nothing he's done like wrong this weekend. It's a perfect weekend, absolute perfect weekend. Second name being Pierre Gasly, who got into Q3 with the Alpine and finished P3 on the road. Uh, very, very unlucky with the penalties and just drove a exceptional weekend. And the Alpine to get a podium, it would have been amazing, but very unfortunate. And the third driver would be Lewis Hamilton, who beat Leclerc in his own Grand Prix and then in the race finished P2 pretty comfortably. And considering it's Monaco, right? Like Lewis has historically done pretty badly here. Not super badly. Like he wasn't one of his best tracks. Despite winning here a couple of times thanks to Mercedes being very good, he's never looked like that exceptional around Monaco. But this
Yeah.
weekend, beating arguably one of the quickest drivers around Monaco in qualifying, uh, it was very impressive considering all the all the conditions and so on. Like Ferrari, Leclerc, Monaco, like that qualifying has impressed me a lot because especially after last season, this Lewis it really reminds me of that of 2023 self, right? Like it was being P2 in the championship and beating Russell. Like this is the Lewis that can show up and remind everyone that he still got it, even at 41 years old.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm hopeful that he'll keep pushing himself.
Yeah. A couple of honorable mentions like Liam Lawson as well, Esteban Ocon, and maybe even Max for P2, but we didn't see him in the race, so yeah. Obviously, I would give it to either Antonelli or Gasly if I had to choose, but I would probably lean that both drivers deserve it equally because both drivers have done maximum with their cars this weekend, right?
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Okay. So a point for Gasly that I will take, sorry, give myself. Yeah, Antonelli, that was a perfect weekend. Isn't talked about enough. Like just how
Yeah,
dominant
yeah.
he looked.
It is a well-deserved point.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a great one.
Yeah. Okay, garage of the weekend. Not Ferrari and definitely not McLaren. If I have to choose, I'd probably give it the Racing Bulls just because of that strategy in the race. Double points, double top six. And no strategy and no pits lane or any investigations. Both drivers escaped through safely and got big points.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. Blunder of the weekend for a driver who blundered the most.
Well, we're both wrong, aren't we?
Yeah, we're both so wrong. Albon got points, and Antonelli had his best weekend of his career. You could argue. So yeah, blunder weekend for a driver. Who would you give this to?
I think I would probably give it to. There's an argument, George, and then otherwise it would be someone down there. I think Ollie Behrman had a really bad weekend.
Yeah, I was thinking Behrman as well. Obviously, Russell is probably a guess, but I mean,
Stroll.
yeah, Stroll.
but I expect him a Stroll. Probably Behrman. You
Str-
can argue like I think you can argue for George Russell a little bit, but all the same, he should be doing better as well. So yeah, I'd also put Russell there.
yeah, I mean, Stroll P22 in qualifying and DNF in the race is kind of the average Stroll weekend. If you think about it, yeah. I would give this to Ollie Behrman as well. Very, very poor weekend for his standards. Ferrari on the weekend as a team, Williams definitely not. They could have gotten double points if not for that very unfortunate Sainz incidents. McLaren probably the shout. Like they were slow and
There was a
DNF'd.
moment that I thought we'd get a McLaren, but I don't know.
I mean, Mercedes screwed up Russell, right? Look, Ferrari screwed up Leclerc. Red Bull screwed up Max. Haas, obviously, only one driver was there. Audi just screwed themselves. The drivers screwed themselves, apparently. Alpine, only one driver was present. Uh,
I'll say because
like,
almost every other team got a point slash deserved a point, right? Sergio Perez, I'm thinking of there.
yeah.
I'm going to say Audi.
Yeah, yeah, that's probably it. Like they would have scored points otherwise, but
Yeah, that's true.
uh, I mean, I would probably
It's tricky.
I would lean more over to McLaren, especially
Yeah, okay.
after them
I'll take the point, bro.
almost winning the last three races, right? Like they were
Yeah,
in the
that's true.
fight, and now coming to Monaco, they were nowhere compared to the top three teams. I mean, and they got a DNF as well, a mechanical failure on Lando's car. It's also on the team. So yeah,
Yeah,
McLaren,
yeah,
you get
fair
a
enough.
point. Did you forget you picked McLaren or?
No. I did. Sorry, I'm happy with that. I'm happy to keep in the title race a little bit, especially because some of my predictions were awful.
Uh,
As we're about to
I
as we're
mean,
about to hit.
I haven't done much better when I think about it. Fastest lap,
No,
Antonelli.
you get a point,
You
yeah.
get a
Fastest
point
lap by a
because
lot as well.
yeah, he was rapid and very well deserved Grand Slam with such a dominating fastest lap as well.
It was like a second, over a second quicker than anyone else.
Yeah. Absolutely demolished the competition. And Demolition Award, Antonelli couldn't be much further from the truth. Piastri didn't do anything apart from almost putting his team into the wall.
It's a Lance Stroll special, I think.
And I was leaning over to Charles Leclerc because he also crashed in qualifying.
Yeah. No, actually, you're right. He did crash twice. The second crash might not be his fault, really, but
Yeah.
there's a double crash there.
Yeah.
A special shout out to George Russell as well for trying to cause the most crashes.
And also mentioned to Bortoleto who destroyed his car. I think it was a qualifying one. And yeah, that's I might be called Pinto as well for essentially driving into a broken car on his own. But yeah, definitely Leclerc for this award, if we could call it that. Okay. Over prediction: Hamilton wins, does a backflip. Coming from your dearest Debbie.
Debbie, yes.
Hamilton got a P2, and I don't remember a backflip, so almost right. He would have done a backflip if he would have won the race. Like jumping into the pool, it would have been a backflip, right? So technically, it would count. But yeah, Antonelli was just too good for Hamilton this weekend. Mercedes double DNF, only zero Mercedes DNFs. With George Russell finished outside of the points, and Antonelli finished so quickly, then we might have thought that he wasn't even participating in the race. Yeah, no points there.
Yeah.
Ferrari 1-2. Not quite. No Mercedes on the podium. I think that was a Mercedes on the podium. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that was one.
There's one, yeah. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, yeah. I was.
I'd like to point out. Sorry, just to go back to my dearest Debbie.
Yeah.
She only knows Hamilton. I do show her the intro often, and she went, Hamilton wins, and I was like, oh, that's something. And she went and does a backflip, and I went, it might be the one race where he does do a backflip into the pool.
Yeah, right. Because it's like the only tradition in Monaco is to like do a backflip and jump into the pool, but yeah, almost a P2 as close as it gets. And my dad's prediction say that the DNF wasn't even close. There were points in the during the Monaco Grand Prix that I thought that it could actually happen, especially with George. But yeah, okay. Ooh. Wait. Actual prediction. That's the one we haven't mentioned yet. Stroll top 5. I mean, if you reverse the order.
Yeah, exactly.
He finished the top 5 in the
every so often, I'm going to pull this out.
It's a safe
one
pick.
day, and look, one day it might happen because he's Lance Stroll. He does do these things.
Yeah, there's like 1 or 2 races in the season where he just randomly locks in and gets a high position.
Yeah, exactly.
And Hajar did not win, but I got a podium. That's close enough. Yeah. This is it for our predictions for the Monaco Grand Prix. Grand Prix de Monaco, Monte Carlo. We are gonna see you next year, and the next one, because Monaco is apparently staying on the calendar for the foreseeable future. Not a big fan of this entire weekend, but it has some tradition, right? So.
Well, there's one more thing we need to do, and it's driver ratings.
Yeah. I almost forgot.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, we still gotta rate the drivers, so
let's speed run this.
Yes. We gotta go row by row, right? Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, row. Okay. You're first.
I'm gonna start being very, very aggressive with my ratings because I've realised we're not doing ratings per thing, are we, this year?
Yeah.
Every 6 races. So I need to start being a bit more aggressive with them. That's why Bottas is getting a 2. I look at Perez and then I look at Bottas and it's like, well, what's happening here? There's a big difference, evidently, so far this season. So I'm going to be a bit more strict. Perez is getting a 7. The fact he managed to get his car up to 10th place alone is crazy. Obviously, getting the penalty it does leave a sour taste, but getting that car there alone is worth shouting about. Right, that's my perspective. Oh wait, it's you next. I forget how we do this.
Yeah, Bottas is not looking great. We're very, very interested at what the team dynamic would be around the 2 most popular number 2 drivers in the recent memory, being teammates. But Perez really has the upper hand ever since the start of the season, and yeah, Bottas' seat might be in danger, according to rumors that you could see him even replaced mid-season.
Okay.
I would probably still keep him to the rest of the season because after all, it's a new team. All they need right now is stability. And Bottas, I mean, he doesn't crash, right? He's just slow right now. So may as well keep him for the time being. I get a 2. Gets a 2 for me as well. Perez gets an 8. Being anywhere near points, being actually in the points in the Cadillac despite the penalty was impressive. and those 2 points that he lost is essentially the penalties, right?
Yeah, that's fair.
Okay.
Okay, fair enough. Right, on to Lance Stroll, who I'm gonna give a, a rating of 2-2. Just what it's very what's the point in Lance Stroll at this point? And then Alonso, it has to be very high. I'm going to give him a 9. I think he can do better. That's why it's a 9. He obviously gets a point, but I think I think for Alonso, right, he can do better. And him actually
How much higher should they have finished for a 10?
no, I don't mean that, but like say he did what Perez did alone, I would give him a 10. I would have gave Perez a 10 if he did get the penalties, right?
But the Aston was the weaker
But
car compared to Cadillac.
he's got very lucky with Hulkenberg and Thing getting penalties,
I mean,
right?
so did
That would be
Perez. Like Perez wouldn't be in the points without the penalties and the DNFs. Like it's the only way these cars can get points. And Alonso was there to, well, take it. He was at the right place at the right time, and he completely destroyed his teammate into the entire weekend.
I want to leave a tiny bit extra because I think it's Fernando Alonso. There's a possibility that he can get a 10.
Yeah. Okay. Fernando Alonso wins the Spanish Grand Prix and make it a 9.5. We'll see.
That would be that would be. I'd give him a 99 for that.
Yeah, 9.9, maybe 9.95. We'll see. Yeah, a 10 is literally like lapping the entire field in Aston Martin.
No, you know what I mean. I think he can get like a. I think this season he'll get like a 9th or an 8th, and then I will laugh at you. I shall laugh and laugh and laugh.
If the Aston Martin gets a point, another point this season,
I think they will.
Okay, I gotta say straight. If they get another point this season, you get 10 points in the prediction championship.
Really? Wow. Yeah. Okay. W.me. That's huge. Easy. I believe in them.
I would bet my entire salary that Aston doesn't score another point this season.
No, I believe in it. I believe in the dream.
This was the most random thing, like 7 or 8 DNFs, and like
Do you not
3
remember
drivers ended up got a penalty as well.
Do you not remember Silverstone 2 years ago when or was it last year even, when one driver finished? Or sorry, 10 drivers finished. There's a chance.
Yeah, but they would need to be in Aston in the top 10, and we have 22 cars this year on the grid.
Lance Stroll is inevitable.
Yeah, Lance Stroll top 5 for sure. That would get 20 points for you. Yeah.
I should have said top 10, really.
Yeah, probably.
I should have said Aston Martin top 10, really. That's going to be my extra bold prediction for the rest of the season.
Yeah. Okay, Stroll 2.5. Or maybe actually 3. He was close to Alonso in qualifying and in the race. Yeah. Who knows what happened there? And yeah, the referee kind of works. Alonso gets a 10 for me. Gets a point in Aston Martin. Like that speaks for itself. Obviously, you argumented for a 9. I didn't necessarily agree with your argument, but I respect it. Right.
Thank you.
Okay, your Williams.
My Williams, interesting ones because Albon did very well. I'm gonna, but they both got pretty high in qualifying. I'm gonna give Albon a 9. Feel maybe that. I think Albon deserves a 9.
9. Gets the same rating as Fernando Alonso.
Yeah, and he deserves it. He qualified he qualified 11th. And rightly deserved to be in the top 10 and finish 8th. I'm gonna give Sainz a 5.
A 5. A 5.
Yeah.
For what?
He qualified well. You know,
he
I
was
think.
right behind Alex, like 0.05 seconds in qualifying. And the race, they were together for the entire thing up until Sainz was spun out. Like, they were like neck and neck the entire race.
Fair enough.
Maybe
There you
Sainz
go.
was behind like one car thanks to the entire pit stop chaos, but they were like together. Like I remember at one point Alex even let Sainz through.
Good. You must have hated my points last week when you
it was
couldn't.
strange to look at, that's for sure, in some places, but I mean, you didn't have, you couldn't be like, you couldn't think about it that much, and you didn't have any outside like opinions at that point, so it wasn't as representative, right? For your opinion, I think.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
Okay. Alex
I
gets
also
an
just forget.
8.
I can't lie.
Science gets 7 for me. Both
Okay.
drivers did well, pretty well. I mean, it's Williams. I didn't expect them to be good this weekend, but they ended up having qualifying P11 and P12. So them getting almost points was pretty good, but not like 9 or 10.
Talking of which, for me, 9 and 9, the boys, they did it.
Yes, both of them very good. Good races.
Good race. Yeah.
Lindblad,
I'd like to. Can I just say, I really like the teammates this season. I think the teammates are really cool. I like Lindblad and Lawson. It might just be because Racing Bull's social media is elite. But yeah, I like all the teammates this season. I think they work well.
Is the Lee and Law.
Lynn and Law, yeah.
The power duo, Lynn and Law. Yeah, Lindblad, not great at qualifying, but finished P6 at the race. It was a very good race.
Good comeback.
8.5. Liam Lawson gets a 10 from me. He maximizes the weekend again. Like, what? I don't think there's more he could have done, honestly.
That's fair.
Like there's so many 10s I think from this weekend. At least on my side. But essentially, I give it between 2 drivers for the driver of the weekend, and those 2 like, could be 11s. You could argue, but a 10 is like maximizing their weekend, fully maximizing, even exceeding the maximization. And I think Lawson has done that with Alonso.
Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. What was my next pick? Oh, Gasly and Colapinto. Already, it is a strong result for Gasly, but obviously penalties pulled him down. I'm going to give him an 8. And then Colapinto a 4.
What does Gasly lose points for? The penalties?
He did finish. Yeah, he loses points. He did finish 7th, right? I get that he did amazing. But you're right. I don't like the penalties. So
the
no.
penalties were not his fault.
You're right.
He couldn't control. Right. Couldn't control the penalty. Like he was completely out of his control, and he finished P3 on the road. P3 in Alpine.
Anything to rage bait you into giving someone the same rating as Alonso again.
Okay, fair enough. Colapinto gets a 2. That was a horrible weekend for Colapinto, and Gasly gets a 10. Yeah. I've argued enough for Gasly, I think already.
2 of the worst drivers coming up.
Yeah.
They
they looked so good, like for the practices and even in Q1. But suddenly, just oh my god!
I don't know what to give Hulk.
Such a disappointing result for Audi.
I don't know what to give Hulkenberg. It's difficult.
I mean, he qualified his teammate and almost got the
5.
points, but got a very unfortunate penalty. Like, he had a pretty mid weekend, but all
Yeah,
things
but out of
considered,
all the penalties, it was probably the most deserved one, apart from Stroll.
yeah. I mean, Stroll did it to himself. I think about it. Yeah, Bortoleto. I mean, he got like P11 or he didn't finish that far off the points, but he crashed in qualifying, starts from the pit lane, and that's his weekend over because he did that. And he was looking considerably slower than Hulkenberg as well. Uh, yeah, Bortoleto. Even the even the worst weekend, the Colapinto, when I think about it, because Colapinto like didn't crash in qualifying. He was still like almost competing for Q3, and yeah, no, Bortolotto and not 15.5, 1.5. Like 1 and below is like crashing every single time and being like 2 seconds on foot pace. Like he's not there yet, but it was his worst weekend in a while. And Hulkenberg, I was very disappointed from his weekend. He was looking like he's finished the points based on the speed of the car, and then in qualifying he didn't maximize his car, I feel like, and then the race got a penalty. Despite me thinking it was very, very unfortunate, very, very unlucky to get a penalty, but they still got it, right?
Yeah.
I guess there's some truth to that. I'm gonna give it a 6. It wasn't a bad weekend after all. It was better than a 5. I feel like.
Yeah. Really poor qualifying from Haas. Let's say.
Yeah.
I'm going to give Berman a 2 because very disappointed. Q19 and then DNFing.
Yeah, his car broke down, right, and then the race.
I mean, Ocon, qualifying 17th is poor, but
It
he
was
did
ahead of
get
his teammate.
points. Yeah, he was ahead of his teammate, and he did bring home points.
Yeah,
So
his
I'm going to give him a 7.
his teammate is literally the benchmark. And Haas wasn't looking like a quick car this weekend. He finished the points. It was a similar thing to Alonso when it comes to Ocon, but obviously Alonso is, after all, in an Aston Martin, which is considerably worse than the Haas. I'm giving Ocon a 9 and Ollie a 2. I mean, Ollie was unfortunate to DNF in the race, but he wasn't anywhere near anyone to begin with. Like wasn't he outqualified by Cadillac of Perez? Because I think he was, and that definitely doesn't help his rating.
No, no. But fair enough, fair enough. Okay, Hajar. Really good weekend from Isaac Hajar. I'm gonna give him a 9. I like giving people 9s. And then I'm gonna give Verstappen. I mean, it isn't Verstappen's fault. I'm gonna give him a 7 because I can't give him a high rating, right? Because he didn't race. But at the same time, I think he did a solid. He got. I didn't expect him to get P2 in qualifying.
Yeah,
Also, he was funny.
it's it's difficult to rate Max. Like, he didn't race in the race, but we have rated drivers who didn't start the race in the past, like Piastri, right, and Lando, based on qualifying. And qualifying alone, Max has done a tremendous job. I'm gonna give him a 9.5 based on qualifying because that's the most important thing about Monaco. As after all, and he got P2, almost got pole position in a Red Bull. After all, he did pretty well. HR was slower in qualifying, but the top 5 in Monaco with a new team, very good. Wasn't that far off this teammate either. It was like 3/10, so pretty quick as well. In the race, technical issues, still got a podium, helped by other drivers DNFing, but he did the best he could in the race. He gets a 9 from me. as well. So we match the first prediction, well, apart from the two that we gave to Bottas and Behrman.
That is fair. That is fair. Right. Piastri, I'm going to give a 7. Solid race. It's nothing special. And then Norris, I'm going to give 4.
Yeah, McLaren's very slow this weekend as a team. They aren't that far off in qualifying. Lando actually set the quickest ideal lap time. Like his three fastest sectors were quicker than Piastri's, but Piastri out qualified him somehow. And in the race, yeah, they were pretty much next to each other, separated by Gasly, and then Lando got his engine broke down. So yeah, Piastri 7.5. I mean, doesn't look like he could have done much more, but he wasn't impressive at all. Like his race pace wasn't looking good, and Lando he got qualified by his teammates, so that's about it. His start wasn't great either. I mean, he tried to get around the outside on Piastri, which was not smart. He got what he deserved for trying something very stupid that could have brought both drivers into the wall. Obviously, Piastri could have left a little more space, but yeah, the incident could have ended in a double DNF as well. The start, both of them, I didn't very smart at that point, and then ended up being Lando losing a place to Gasly as well. Yeah, I'm gonna get Lando a 5.
Yep. Right. On to Hamilton and Leclerc. Oh, it's another kind of tricky one. Um, uh, I've I would say that it's Leclerc I'm having a tricky with. Had the pace, was behind Hamilton, but wasn't that quick, right? I'm gonna give him I'm gonna give him a 6, and I'm gonna give Hamilton a 9.
Yeah, fair enough. uh, I mean, Leclerc's crash is like, yeah, he blamed it on the brakes. He's like, yeah, I'm always taking the blame, but this time, yeah, I just like fuck this. I'm not taking the blame this time. Like it was super pissed, especially after the penalty that he has to serve with Hamilton. Yeah, Ferrari did no favors, but he did himself no favors either in qualifying. He was already trying and probably had the pace for pole as well. But he did what he normally does in Monaco, and that's overpush the car, and that's what happened. Leclerc, for his standards, is Monaco, and he ended up having being P4 in the DNF. It's a 5.5 for me. He's like super bad, but wasn't good. You could not call Leclerc's weekend a good weekend, right? So this is a bang average, a little bit, maybe a little more, because it was not entirely his fault in the crash, according to his own words. Lewis, on the other hand, I mean, it wasn't much he could have done more. I feel like the car had the pace for pole position, so that's not going to give him a 10. But Lewis was very impressive this weekend, after all. I'm going to give him a 9. Maybe a 9.5, same as Max. I'm very generous this weekend. Many high scores.
Yes. Right. Russell is a 3, and Antonelli's a 10, and that's my ending.
Yeah, I'm leaning in a similar way. Antonelli a 10, a perfect weekend. Russell, I'm gonna give him a 5. It wasn't like that bad. He still got P6 in qualifying. The race was very unfortunate. He should have finished P4 when you think about it. And that's a pretty mid weekend, all things considered. maybe actually over to 4.5, but I'm giving you points here to kind of make up for the bad luck he had to race. So, oh my god, like you make like behind his team, behind your teammate, right? You get it, then in DNF, and then your team screws up your race.
But he's
The
still
very
just
next
not
weekend,
doing well, right? He qualified in
right?
P6.
But that 5 is for doing the bare minimum. That's a top
I think
6
I think I
and
think you're
a
still
top
giving
4 in
him
the
a
race.
lot. He's
I
in the
don't know.
fastest car. He should be doing better.
Like, imagine if it was like max P6 HRP, like max P1 and HRP 6. Then you're having Hajar finishing the P4. Like where Russell probably should have finished. Yeah, it's different season. It's like Max world champion and Hajar a new driver, but
Yeah.
like when you put like any other team pairing in that Mercedes, I would probably give them the same amount of points. When I think about it, like when I put the Ferraris in the same like scenario, McLarens, even like other teams, I would honestly, this is my objective opinion. I would give this to their respective scenarios, like a 5 and 10. When compared it to like Lando's weekend, right? Russell and Lando's weekend were very comparable, even though Lando was closer to Piastri. Piastri got a 7.5, Anthony got a 10. That's the difference there. Uh, yeah, and Leclerc, like that's similar scenario to similar rating to Lando and Russell. I think those three drivers are pretty comparable this weekend. Uh, both were beaten by their teammates and should have finished higher. I think about it.
Yeah.
And and all three of them got very unlucky as well in the race. So it's just like a very similar rating. I think Leclerc was probably the best driver of the three, and maybe you could argue Russell was the worst, but I'm gonna give them that rating that I decided.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Yeah,
And yeah, that's our Grand Prix predict. Our Monaco Grand Prix done, I believe. Right.
yeah. Monaco Grand Prix, a very long episode. That it's also a very special one because Ajax is back.
Yes. But yeah, thank you very much everyone for watching. We're always very honoured to have you here. And yeah, it's the Spanish Grand Prix very literally coming up. So get ready for a bit more content around that. But yeah, thank you very much for joining me, Sorgan.
Yep. Thank you so much for coming back, and we're so glad to have you back.
And thank you everyone for watching. As always, peace.
Peace.